Hey y'all, Jim Pankey here. I am visiting with Lindsay Lyden at Mulheron Craft. He builds banjos. So we're going to look at a few banjos today, and we'll talk to Lindsay, ask him about him. He'll tell you stuff. And then we'll play a few, so stick around. All right, so here's some of Lindsay's banjos, and here's Lindsay Lyden. So tell us about your banjos, Lindsay. Wherever you want to start.
Well,
why don't we start by that one that you're next to?
This one here?
Yeah, let's look at that.
This banjo here is basically the one I play myself. I kind of built this one for myself. It's about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years or so of playing different people's banjos and liking certain things I liked about their sound and their style, and I would kind of make a mental note of that. And then I basically, once I got everything kind of compiled together, I built this one for myself. It's got a Tubaphone tone ring. It's a 3-inch deep pot. It's a maple neck. It's got some red and black striped veneer.
Yeah.
It's got the back strap. It's a stained maple. Antiqued hardware. I call this my Dale Earnhardt. The racer. Got the racing stripes on the side.
Number 3 on there somewhere. Right?
Yeah, you put number 3 on there. Yep, exactly. It's got a rosewood fingerboard. And then I did this fun little, it's got a chasing grain pattern, so the fingerboard goes right up through to the back of the headstock. It's a 20-degree kickback angle, which is like the old Dobsons used to be.
Right.
Which gives it a lot more kind of back pull tension. That plus the tailpiece gives me like a lot of rigidity, so I can actually transfer the sound a lot nicer. It's a lot more responsive. Yeah. And then with the Tubaphone tone ring, I also get a pretty good amount of volume, but then I put goat skin heads on them, so I get a nice warmth. Yep. I dye the heads. I always say I don't want to live in a world with brown and white banjos. It's just not as exciting to me. I have an art background, I have a music background, and I have a performance background and a woodworking background, actually. So I kind of mix all that together to make life exciting.
So let's talk about this. What is this?
This is called a adjustable dampening system.
Okay.
The idea is a lot of times old timers will put something back, dirty diaper or an old gym sock or something behind their dowel stick so they can get a nice, it basically gets rid of the overtones, but it's either on or off. So I came up with this system so that you can control how much you want or how little you want. So I can turn it this way. That presses this pad against the back of the head.
Right.
And then I have the dampening system, and it gets rid of those overtones, and it makes it more mellow.
Right.
It's not really a volume control or a mute per se. It's more about getting rid of the overtones. And then I can turn it this way, and I can do a little bit, I can do nothing, I can do a lot. So you have complete control over the amount of overtones that you want to get rid of. And you can change it in real time as you're playing. The pot are also, I do a 3-inch deep pot, which I am able to get the sound that I'm looking for that way as well. I do the continuous leg bridge. This is the design I kind of came up with. And the idea basically is the mass behind the string to the head is the same consistently all the way down, and the foot goes all the way across so that it doesn't sag over time like those other maple bridge tend to do. Everyone knows you take it off after a few years and they can rock and stuff. And then also it transfers the sound consistently. So if I'm playing a high note or low note, up the strings, down the strings, whatever, it's always the same volume. I don't get like a really loud volume and a really quiet volume. It's the same volume consistently, no matter what strings you're playing, and that works really well too. And then of course I do the big honking tail.
Yeah, I noticed that that's kind of not very traditional either amongst the old time community. Is a large heavy tailpiece. That's very bluegrass community.
It is, yeah. And then also it's adjustable.
Right.
So you can crank it down, you can turn it, take it back a little bit.
It's a really neat piece. I really like the inlay on that one. I don't know if I can. There we go. So folks can see that.
Yeah. And this here is sheet music. I don't know if you saw the sheet music.
Yeah, there we go.
But this is actual texture transfer of sheet music. And then I've softened all the edges on all my banjos too.
Yeah, I noticed that was one of the early things that I noticed with your work is that, I mean, you've got the scoop and then you've got that edge, which is just really comfortable. Really
so when you start laying into it,
yeah.
it's nice and smooth.
It's out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you can do your drop thumb. The other thing I do is crow spacing on pretty much all my banjos.
I use a crow spacing on as well. It's definitely more comfortable.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this one, Lindsay. This
is
is crazy.
The newest model. Yep. This banjo here has a little bit of a wider neck.
Right.
So the idea behind this banjo is just like a workhorse. I mean, this thing is just meant to be there for you when you need it. It's super solid. It's like an old tractor or something, you know, and it's just there for you. It's a little bit wider. It's got I was kind of going with this like fun playing with this like camo, which I really love. I was thinking of like an old Jeep or, you know, something like that when I was building this one. I'm calling this one the Appalachian. Wider neck, still round over here, nice scoop up there. Same tailpiece. This is also a Tubaphone tone ring. And I got this design from Polo, a friend of mine who lives in France, and he built Frank Lee's banjo, and I mimicked it after that style.
So I'm noticing on this kind of our electric guitar players will recognize these string trees that you've got.
Yep.
So what was your thoughts there?
Basically, the idea is it kind of creates a tailpiece behind the nut. So these string trees pull the strings down behind the nut, just like a tailpiece pulls it down behind the bridge. So it creates a breaking angle.
Right.
And it's got a lot more of a break there, and that also creates the transfer of sound to be a lot more rigid.
Yeah, so same headstock angle as that one.
Yep, this is also 20 degrees.
20 degrees.
Yep.
What's standard? 18?
18. Okay. Yeah, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Kind of varies.
It's definitely noticeable difference.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think, most people might not think that they would know that the difference between 17 and 20, but 3 degrees
it makes a big
it's
difference.
very noticeable.
Yeah.
It's very noticeable.
But it's still playable. If you go too far, you can kind of run into issues where the string tension's so tight it's harder to press down.
Right.
So I came off just a little so I don't have issues for playability, and it still feels nice and comfortable and it's super easy to play. This also has crow spacing. So you can do drop thumb really easily. You can do, play it however you get in between the strings really nicely.
Tell me about that head.
This is a design that I've always just enjoyed, playing with color, have an art background and stuff. And I just kind of took this as an opportunity to just I look at this as like a blank canvas, basically. Yeah. And it's just been really fun. It's a goatskin head. Mm-hmm. This is a goatskin head.
Do you primarily use a skin head on your instruments?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the sound that I like.
Right.
It's a real warm. It's almost like haunting kind of. I'm able to get with the Tubaphone tone ring, I get the volume that I need, but with the tailpiece and the breaking angle, I get a nice volume transition of sound. But with the goatskin head, I get the warmth.
You get the depth too. Yeah, that's great.
And that's what I personally love.
Well, I mean, this instrument's definitely a reflection of you. I mean, I think that's part of the goal. So you got one more here that was.
Yep, this one here.
This one's more different.
Yep. This is a walnut pot. I cut this tree down myself. It's from a piece of land that's been in my family since 1885 or 1883. I'll have to ask my mom. But it's a walnut. It's got an ash neck. This has the backstrap and the volute combo. And you can notice the veneer goes from ash, transitions to walnut, and then it goes back to ash over the heel. This is my take on a traditional heel. I love.
Yeah, I like that. It's asymmetrical, so
Yep.
that's kind of interesting.
Yep.
I like that.
This is a Dobson tone ring, a sculpted dowel stick. It's got a real deep pot. It's got a Renaissance head on this one. It's got a nice, fun little spinning wheel.
That one does not have the damper.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
This one I built before. The damper was like a newer idea. This is one of the older banjos here.
I like the spinning wheel. That's neat. Yeah. Well, what we need to do is get you to play a couple of them so we can hear some differences.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do that. Lindsay, these are absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Mulheron Craft.
Mulheron Craft. Yep. Can look it up online.
Go check them out, folks. Well, Lindsay builds you a piece of art. I mean, this, and that's one thing I want to lead out on this thing with is you're not just buying a banjo. You're buying a piece of art from an artist. Lindsay's an artist. He's a musician. He's a banjo player. He likes to build instruments. So you're getting more than just a banjo. And like you said, no more brown and chrome banjos. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And man, they sound great. Well, you just heard them. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.